gonna get a movie chat. That explains the map. How fucking cool that is, chat. What the... Okay. Okay. It explains why the map is covered in shadow. Is because we haven't fought back the dark forces in that region yet. Right? It's not that we kind of haven't been there. It's just that, honestly, it's like overrun with dark forces. So if we look at the map, you can clearly say where the dark forces, the Archaeum Legion, exists. Like, right? It's half of the world. Chat, for anyone who just joined, like we've just finished the lore of the game. For an MMO, it's really good. I really can't, like, it doesn't compare to Witcher 3, obviously, right? It's not another Game of Thrones, but it's basic enough that you follow. Very few names that you need to understand and remember. Every zone has its own lore, and the ending, which is tied directly to the first zone's lore and how it all started, right? The training island and all of that. It's also quite impressive. And I don't know, how do you feel, John? You are more into the fantasy stories and book reading and shit, so maybe you have a better point in that.
Up until now, this game feels like an introduction. The main story was like explanation of the zones,
Okay.
rather than actual story. Like you said, there was no common thread across that, but maybe that's because the game is new and they're just kind of trying to ease you into it. Because at the beginning, they introduced this purple witch person. I forgot her name.
Cathalia?
Yeah, I don't know, something.
Like yeah. Fuck.
But then you saw her at the beginning and you saw her now at the very end. But like she wasn't mentioned anywhere in between at all.
I
And
see where you're
the
going with
big
this.
guy,
Okay.
whatever his name
So-
was.
so you-
Khazar.
Yeah, Khazar. Yes, the big boy.
Yeah, so it's just like, let us explain the world to you. And then if you're interested, buy an expansion so that we can tell you the proper story.
So, if I understand you correctly, what this means is that everything that we've experienced so far was like a plot episode?
Pilot, you mean?
Pilot episode, yeah. Is that?
Kind of, yeah.
I agree with you that every zone has its own story that doesn't have anything to do with the main plot. The way it looks, you approach a new waypoint, and upon discovering the new waypoint, it tells you in 2 sentences where you at and what happened, very briefly.
Yeah.
And then you sort of explore how that happened and everything around it, and you help with local troubles. There's nothing that is world saving at all.
No.
It's like spiders. Okay, let's kill them. Goblins. Okay, fuck them up.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
And yes, there's this underlying tone that everything is run by this force from the Star of Silavith, and the reason why
The star
waypoints
fragments,
exist,
Yeah.
it's that star. But it doesn't matter in the sense
No.
that, yeah,
No, it's just an explanation of the world
true.
around you.
And also the reason why we see that witch at the end, essentially right hand to Khazar, is because at the end they just retold the story. Like the last cinematic is essentially the explanation again for the 10th time why the world is the way it is. There's nothing new in the final cinematic. It just says Dark Legion, the Khazar, right? He wanted the power of the Star of Silaveth, so he invaded the place, and he asked or tasked the witch to find all those stars and all that power and harvest it, and here we are. And we already knew that, right, at the beginning of the game, really. So like when you start the game, before you even create a character, there is a cinematic, and this is exactly what they tell you.
Yeah.
Right. And they just said it again. So you're maybe right. Maybe they are rolling out the carpet for the future.
I think so. So from the beginning of the game till now, we didn't really actually progress the story at all.
That's true. That's very true.
We just kind of know a little bit more things around the story, like the the background
Yeah,
of it all.
it's funny how when you say it, but it's actually very true.